What is a fair gold price? A fair gold price is not determined by guesswork or negotiation alone. It is anchored to the global spot price. This is the universal reference point used by professional buyers, refiners, and investors. Every serious offer should be expressed as a percentage below the spot price, creating a transparent and comparable structure. When this formula is clear, sellers can immediately evaluate whether an offer is competitive. Without this reference, numbers lose meaning. A figure may sound attractive, but without knowing how it relates to the market, it cannot be judged objectively. Fairness comes from consistency. When multiple buyers provide formulas based on the same spot price and within the same time window, the comparison becomes logical and precise. Mini calculation example. Understanding how to calculate a payout removes uncertainty and builds confidence. Start with the current spot price in euros, apply the buyer's percentage deduction, and calculate the value per item. Multiply by the quantity and subtract any costs, such as analysis or transaction fees. This simple process reveals the true payout. Even small percentage differences can significantly affect the final amount, especially with larger quantities. Seeing the numbers clearly laid out helps sellers avoid emotional decisions and marketing influence. Instead of focusing on how an offer is presented, attention shifts to measurable value. Calculations bring clarity and prevent misunderstandings. They ensure that every decision is supported by real financial data rather than assumptions. Decision logic. Once the numbers are visible, logic replaces hesitation. The strongest offer is not just the highest percentage, it is the highest net payout combined with transparent testing and reliable payment. Speed of payment, professional communication, and consistency all influence the final decision. Sometimes a slightly lower percentage with immediate payment and no additional costs creates a better outcome than a higher percentage with delays or deductions. The key is to evaluate the full picture. When sellers apply the same calculation method to every offer, the best option becomes clear. Decisions feel grounded, not rushed. The process transforms uncertainty into structure. By focusing on net results and transparent formulas, sellers gain control over the transaction and avoid common pitfalls. The outcome becomes predictable, rational, and aligned with real market value, ensuring that the final price truly reflects the worth of the gold being sold. How gold testing works. Gold testing is a critical part of any professional transaction, and understanding it removes a great deal of uncertainty. The process usually begins with simple, non-destructive checks, such as measuring weight and dimensions. Standard coins and bars follow strict specifications, so even small deviations can raise questions. Magnetic screening is often used as an initial filter, confirming that the material behaves as expected. Electrical conductivity tests add another layer of verification, identifying whether the internal composition matches genuine gold. These methods are quick, precise, and performed without damaging the item. Observing this process in person builds confidence and ensures transparency from the very start. Advanced testing methods. Professional buyers rely on additional tools to confirm authenticity and purity. Ultrasound technology helps detect internal inconsistencies, such as tungsten cores or layered materials. XRF analysis provides insight into the surface composition, revealing the exact mixture of metals and confirming purity levels. While XRF does not penetrate deeply, combining it with conductivity and ultrasound creates a comprehensive picture. These methods are widely accepted in the industry because they provide fast, reliable results without destroying the item. For sellers, seeing these tests performed in real time reinforces trust. The process becomes clear, structured, and understandable rather than mysterious or intimidating. When melting is needed. When melting. In most standard cases, melting should not be necessary. Recognized coins and bars are typically verified using non-destructive testing alone. Melting is reserved for situations where results raise concerns or when dealing with non-standard materials such as dust, grains, or heavily damaged pieces. Before agreeing to any destructive process, it is essential to clarify who covers the cost and what happens if authenticity is confirmed. Transparency at this stage protects the seller and ensures fairness. A professional buyer will explain why melting is required and provide clear reasoning. When handled correctly, testing supports both sides of the transaction. It confirms value, builds trust, and ensures that the final payout reflects the true quality of the gold. Understanding these steps allows sellers to remain calm and informed throughout the process, turning what might seem technical into a logical and reassuring experience. Special selling situations. Not every gold item fits neatly into the category of standard coins or bars. Some pieces come with damaged packaging, visible wear, or incomplete documentation. In these cases, buyers may adjust their evaluation, not because the gold is less valuable, but because verification requires more effort. Understanding this difference is important. A damaged assay package, for example, may lead one buyer to lower the offer, while another may rely on advanced testing and maintain the standard formula. These variations highlight why comparing multiple buyers remains essential. When sellers understand that special situations influence process, not just price, they approach negotiations with more confidence and realistic expectations. Jewelry and non-standard gold. Jewelry follows a completely different valuation logic than investment gold. The purchase basis is melt value, calculated from purity, weight, and the current spot price minus processing costs. Design, craftsmanship, and emotional value rarely influence the payout. This difference can feel surprising at first, but it reflects how the gold market functions. Non-standard forms such as dust, grains, or fragments often require additional analysis or melting to determine purity accurately. These steps introduce extra costs and can affect the final net result. Being aware of this process helps sellers prepare mentally and financially. Instead of expecting investment-style pricing, they understand the practical reality of how such items are evaluated. Numismatic items. Rare and collectible coins follow yet another path. Their value may extend beyond metal content, depending on rarity, condition, and demand among collectors. In these cases, specialized numismatic experts are better equipped to evaluate the piece accurately. Standard bullion buyers may offer only melt value, not because they undervalue the item, but because their focus is on metal rather than collectability. Choosing the right type of buyer becomes crucial. When a rare item is evaluated by a specialist, the process becomes more detailed and the potential payout more reflective of its true worth. Understanding these distinctions ensures that sellers avoid misaligned expectations. Instead of approaching every item in the same way, they match the type of gold with the right expertise. This approach leads to smoother transactions, better communication, and outcomes that feel fair and logical from start to finish. Safety and legal considerations. Selling gold involves more than price and testing. It also includes safety and legal responsibility. Professional transactions follow regulations designed to protect both buyer and seller. Identification procedures, often referred to as AML or KYC checks, are standard when dealing with higher value transactions. These measures confirm identity and help ensure that the gold originates from legitimate sources. While this may feel formal, it is a sign of a trustworthy and compliant buyer. Completing the transaction in a secure location further reduces risk and reinforces professionalism. Documentation such as invoices or purchase slips provides a clear record of the exchange, protecting both parties long after the sale is completed. Payment methods. Payment structure plays a significant role in the overall experience. Immediate SEPA transfers are widely considered reliable and efficient, offering a documented and traceable transaction. Cash payments may also be available within legal limits, but they require careful handling and awareness of regulations. Delayed payments introduce uncertainty and should always be approached with caution. The timing of payment affects not only convenience, but also trust. Buyers who provide clear, immediate payment demonstrate reliability and financial stability. Sellers who prioritize transparency at this stage avoid misunderstandings and ensure that the final step of the transaction is smooth and predictable. common seller mistakes. Many challenges in gold selling come from avoidable mistakes. Accepting vague pricing without formulas tied to the spot price can lead to lower payouts and confusion. Relying on a single buyer limits comparison and reduces negotiating power. Skipping documentation removes an important layer of protection. Each of these missteps increases risk and uncertainty. Recognizing them in advance helps sellers approach the process more carefully. The goal is not to complicate the transaction, but to structure it. When safety, legality, and documentation are treated as essential components, not optional details, the entire experience becomes more secure. Sellers feel more confident, buyers respond more professionally, and the final outcome reflects a well-managed and responsible transaction. This awareness ensures that selling gold remains not only financially sound, but also safe and legally compliant from beginning to end. Real-life selling scenarios. Different situations shape how gold is sold and how decisions are made. Urgent financial needs, inherited items, or damaged packaging all influence the approach. When time is limited, clarity becomes even more important. Structured steps, checking spot price, contacting multiple buyers, and confirming testing help maintain control even under pressure. In cases of inherited jewelry or mixed gold forms, expectations must adjust to melt-based valuation and possible analysis. Every scenario carries its own challenges, but the same principle applies. Preparation and comparison lead to stronger outcomes. Recognizing the context of the sale helps sellers respond logically rather than emotionally, keeping the process focused and efficient. Negotiation tips. Small adjustments in communication can significantly improve results. Timing matters. Contacting buyers when markets are active leads to more accurate and competitive offers. Presenting multiple items together may create leverage for better pricing spreads. Asking for analysis costs to be waived when tests confirm authenticity is a reasonable request and often accepted. Payment terms can also influence negotiation, as immediate SEPA transfers are simpler and safer for buyers, sometimes resulting in improved offers. Transparency about comparing multiple buyers encourages professionalism and reduces vague responses. These strategies are not aggressive, they are practical. They show preparation, seriousness, and respect for the process, which often leads to better cooperation and stronger financial outcomes. Key takeaways. Consistency is the foundation of successful gold selling. Gathering multiple offers tied to the spot price creates a clear basis for comparison. Observing testing in front of you ensures transparency and confidence in authenticity. Focusing on the highest net payout, not just the headline number, leads to better financial decisions. Standard coins and bars typically provide the most predictable and favorable results, while jewelry and non-standard forms require acceptance of melt-based valuation and possible costs. When these principles are followed, the transaction becomes structured and calm. Sellers move from uncertainty to clarity, from hesitation to confidence. The final outcome reflects not only the value of the gold itself, but also the quality of the decisions made throughout the process. A disciplined approach transforms the experience into one that is logical, controlled, and aligned with real market value.